I've been smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. I be smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all right. All day. In 3, 2, 1, action. What's up, everybody? It's Tony Tone, and welcome to Snerbidge the PoTcast. And it's our 20th episode, and it's been a while since I've done one of these and shit, but it's our 20th fucking episode, so yay! A little over a year I've been doing this. A year and some change. It's been fun, man. I really enjoy this. I love sitting in my office, looking around and just bullshitting with nobody, I guess. So, yeah, man. Snerbidge the PoTcast. Welcome. God damn it, welcome. And it's a special Snerbidge the PoTcast because, like I said, it's our 20th episode. And one of the reasons why I ended up doing one today is because I found it. My buddy had it again. He brought me another bag of the AlbaSnatch. This is round 2 of the AlbaSnatch, which was our first episode. So this being our 20th episode, and I found that I knew it was going to be my 20th episode and everything, but I found this, and I was like, I'm going to fucking pick some up, and here I am with you guys, 20th episode, and I got the shit it's like I have not had anything that has been this good since. So we're going to hopefully it's the same kind of shit, and hopefully it just took him a little while to get me another little, to get another batch going and stuff. So yeah, if you're kind of new to the podcast, I just smoke weed and talk about stuff. And happy belated Halloween. I really wanted to get an episode out for Halloween and stuff like that, but I've been busy, man. Got a couple different jobs and been working the hell out of those and all sorts of shit. So yeah, man, it's been good and everything. It's been tough, but money wise and stuff, but it's been we're doing all right. But, so yeah, one of the things I like about this is when people say, hey man, I smoked with you today. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, I listened to your podcast and I smoked with you. I'm like, oh, right on, cause sometimes people don't have anybody to smoke with. And, so yeah. And I actually got in touch with somebody. He is a semi-celebrity. He had his 15 minutes of fame. And I think that the journey since then, and I will say that without feeling bad about, saying that he had his 15 minutes of fame, because I had my 15 minutes of fame when I went out to LA and was a part of that, part of the Screen Junkies show. And he had his 15 minutes of fame, and it was a little bit bigger than mine, that's for sure. But, I think that his journey since then has been something that I've really enjoyed following on like Facebook and such. So I will put a pin in that right there. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but when I reached out to this dude, he was really, really nice, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, that I just like smoke weed on my podcast and everything, right? And he was like, dude, weed saved me from heroin, man. I would love to be on your podcast. And I was like, fucking sweet. I only got like 3 listeners, man. So yeah, I'll when I know more, I'll put it out there. But just stay tuned, because I have my first celebrity guest. I have a couple different kind of semi-celebrities that I've been in contact with over the years that I would really like to interview. Somebody I've always wanted to interview is Travis Walton from Fire in the Sky fame and stuff. If you don't know who Travis Walton is, I'm not going to get into it right now, but you need to look up Travis Walton, because he was that was a big influence on me growing up in the ways of the science fiction realm, and everything was Travis Walton's story and the subsequent book and film that came out because of it. So yeah, look up Travis Walton. There's a guy named Jared Emick, who was in a movie called Andersonville back in the day about the Civil War prison camp. I think it was called Camp Sumter, but it was also called Andersonville. And if you don't know the history and the story of Andersonville, check that shit out too. But he starred in the movie. It was like a made-for-TV series back in the 90s, and it was really good. And it actually had Biff from Back to the Future in it, which was crazy but awesome. And also the leader of the Raiders in that is Officer Koharski from fucking Wayne's World and shit. I used to say that to fucking cops when I was your age. That dude's in it as the leader of the Raiders and shit. Yeah, there's some good fucking actors in there, man. And it's a good movie. So if I can get Jared Emick on here, that'd be sweet. I actually was looking at cool little, like, kind of where are they now celebrities that I could reach out to that would possibly want to do a little interview with me and stuff. And I was going to look up Michael Champion, who played Captain Cold in the Flash series back in the day. And he was in Total Recall. And he was in a lot of stuff, man. Just one of those faces that you always saw. But I always loved seeing him when I was a kid. I was like, hey, there's that dude, you know. But I looked him up and he died in 2001. And that was really sad. It was just really sad. And especially really sad that, like, I didn't see anything on Facebook about it. I mean, he wasn't a huge actor, but he had some bit roles that were cool. And the comic book and nerd realms would probably, you know, they would know who he was and everything. So, yeah. Oh, well. But hey, AlbaSnatch time. If you don't know the history of the AlbaSnatch, the very first episode, I got a bag of weed called the AlbaSnatch. And when I asked my dude, like, hey man, so what's AlbaSnatch, you know? And he's like, it's supposed to taste like Jessica Alba's vagina. I'll dip into it. I'll see what happens. So can't say it tasted like a vagina, but it was heavenly. So I'm sure that there's a relation there. Stop looking at me like that, Jessica. All right. I'm going to take a hit of the AlbaSnatch. Here we go. And that is beautiful. That is gorgeous. Tastes like weed ought to taste. You know, that's that scene in Sin City, she smelled like angels ought to smell. This tastes like weed ought to taste. Good stuff. Oh, yeah. Loving it. AlbaSnatch Volume 2. So, this last Saturday, November 5th, I was invited to do a 45-minute long stand-up routine in this little town about 40 miles away from here. And this woman was hyping it up and everything, and she was super nice, and she was going to pay me and everything like that. And I've never done 45 minutes before, man. That's tough. But I worked at it for, like, I think she gave me a week and a half. And I worked at it for that whole week and a half, man. And I tell you what, I got a good 45 minutes up, you know, and I was really, really excited about it. And I got there, and it was, I mean, she told me, she was hyping me up too the whole time. Like, she had, you know, she made like a little, you know, Facebook poster about it and everything. And yeah, she was just really hyping me up, you know, oh, I have all these hunters, because there's a bar off of a hotel. She's like, I have all these hunters in and everything, and they're all, they you know, want to take, you know, they want to take a lot of the tables and everything like that, and we're gonna be packed in here for you. And I'm just like, okay, cool, you know. She told me there's gonna be a 40th birthday party for some woman, so I wrote a couple jokes for that. And yeah, man. And I drove up there, and I mean, I'm gonna tell you this, man. First of all, they laid out a spread for me, because you know, anything that I wanted, food or drink. I didn't drink much. I didn't eat anything. I don't like to eat before a show, but anything I wanted was free. They had a room ready for me there if I wanted to stay the night, comped for me and everything. Like, it was super awesome, man. And the place that they had was pretty cool. They didn't have a stage, but they had me in a corner, and it was, they had it set up pretty nice for me and everything, but it was just kind of like one thing after another, because all of a sudden I was like, there's a door back here right behind me. Are people going to be coming in this door? And she's like, well, yeah, but you can work with that. And I'm like, okay. It's just like a lot of like, I have to come up with shit off the top of my head, and that's fine. I like a challenge, but I think I engaged about a third of that room. There was a lot of people in there, but you have a woman's 40th birthday party. When I got there 2 hours before the show, they were trashed. They were partying. They were not there for anything else but partying, And then you had the crowd of people around the bar that were there to drink and have fun on a Saturday night, And then you had the other third of the people that were actually sitting at tables and were there to listen to a comedian. And I engaged them very well, but it was, God, dude, I was really working against the crowd, man. And I know, because I went through that fucking routine and I had 45 minutes. And when I got done, it was 35 minutes. So that's how hard it was for me. Usually I can work with the crowd a little bit, but it was so, and I could even see like some people were coming to sit up closer. Some people, like, they'd kind of like look behind them at the parties and stuff like that. And they're just like, dude, shut up. Like that kind of, I was really working against 2/3 of that crowd, which really kind of sucked. And, I don't think that my delivery with anything was put off by it or anything like that, but I just think that it was hard for them to get into it. It's different when you go someplace where people are there to listen to the artistry, whatever it is. But when it comes to having to play against a Saturday night bar in a little town where that's the only fucking bar, like, it was tough, man. But I got paid for it, and she actually paid me 25% more than I was already supposed to be getting paid. So, and they laid it out for me, man, and it was cool. It was cool. But I really had to work against that crowd, man, and it really kind of sucked. And it just made me so eager. That's the one thing I want to do, man. Before I die, I just want to go to New York City. And there's people that say, oh, you should hit this. And no, I want to go to New York fucking City, and I want to stay there for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And I just want to do nothing but open mics as much as I can. And just do the New York comedy scene for, even if nobody remembers me, I'm not there to thinking I'm going to get signed to something or that some comedian's going to fucking discover. No, I just want to go and work nothing but New York comedy clubs, man. That's all I want. And then just disappear, but that's because here's the thing, like, okay, I got paid for it. And that's great. I had more money in my pocket than I even thought I was going to have when I left that place. But I like people to have a good time. And it was really hard for people to have a good time that came out for specifically that. So I like to put on a good show, and I like engaging the audience. And it was really tough. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but at the same time, I got paid. I did make people laugh. I had jokes about my dog. I think that I was trying to think the other day of, like, what was the thing that landed the most with these people? And it was, the one thing that they engaged the most in with was when I did jokes about our asshole dog, the fucking husky. He fucking yells at you and shit. Fuck that dog, man. I'm serious, dude. Like, that dog is such an asshat. And he knows it. He knows he does things wrong, and he knows that he's doing things wrong when he does them because he's been scolded about it 1,000,000 fucking times, but he still fucking does it. And then Ashley will take a picture of the dog on the couch, like laying there all sweet and cuddly and everything like that. And I'll just post right underneath of it. What a dick. Because that's what he is. He's a fucking dick. AlbaSnatch. I need to calm down. See, this is what he does to me. This is what he does to me. I need to take a step back. So, one of my favorite episodes that I've done of this in my 20 episodes has been the Herges Kirchgosler 232. And that was with my only guest as of yet, my buddy Adam. And it was a really fun interview. It was fun just hanging out with him and smoking with him again and stuff, even if it was, over the phone. But Adam is back in the jailhouse. He's in the jailhouse now. But he's in jail for doing something stupid. It wasn't, it could have been a lot worse than it was, but it was stupid. And he's gonna have to fucking deal with it, man. He, doing his time. And I'm just hoping that someday can be like it was, man, when me and him used to live right next door to each other. And we were in an apartment building and stuff, and like our apartments, we had to go up a flight of steps outside, and then our apartment doors were outside there up on this landing and everything. And kind of a cool little spot, especially for a couple of kids that just got out of high school and shit. We had our girlfriends and yeah, our apartments were identical, but they were like opposite. It was weird. But no, we lived there over the summer, 2003 and shit. And it was fucking fun, man. And, I just hope that someday we can get to that point again. We both work, we both leave, go to work and come home and party and everything. And, someday the kids will all be older, and, someday all this shit will be fucking, all this parenting stuff will subdue a little bit, and is, enough for, us to, properly have fun again. And not saying we can't have fun with our kids, but it's just, you can't go to festivals. We can't. People do it all the time. But we can't afford to go to festivals, with our kids and stuff like that. We can't afford to go on vacations with our kids really that much, because it's just, it's a lot of fucking money, dude. And we just don't have a lot of fucking money. So it's just one of those things, man. But, when the kids are older, and they're all working, maybe they can even be living in the house. We told them, hey, man, I know it sucks right now, but, you guys are getting older. And once you guys get to the age where you can start having jobs and stuff like that, and everybody in the house is working, and you guys are chipping in $50 for, the internet, or $50 for the electric, or 50, all that stuff, we'll be able to afford to take some real family vacations, man. I know that you'll be older, but we won't be so strapped for cash, because it's hard, man. It's hard living these days for us. It's always been hard on us. That's why I bought a Powerball ticket. So it's not going to be a big deal, Yeah. If I do win the Powerball, I will still continue to do this podcast, and it will be oodles. It'll be oodles better. Because I'll have like a space to have people over, I just got this little office. But it's a nice little office. I like it. I love my office. Someday I'll miss it. I know I will. Someday I'll be like, I wish I was sitting in my office right now. And here I am, sitting in my office, looking around, seeing Jessica Alba looking at me, and Jerry Garcia looking at me, and Havoc and Wolverine's Meltdown comic book series looking at me. There's Snake Plissken over there looking at me. Got Elvis, Superman, Donald Trump on a roll of toilet paper, my shrine to Donnie, fucking big boy, random little hot bitches everywhere, because I'm kind of, I like the look of a good looking woman, you know. So one thing that I've been kind of doing recently. First of all, I should talk about that. I've been listening to some really cool stuff lately, man. Um, I've really kind of gotten into Less Than Jake a little bit. I've never really listened to them before. And thanks to my buddy John, I actually started listening to Less Than Jake, and slowly but surely I'm kind of trickling more stuff in. Tedeschi Trucks Band has a new project out. It's like four 35 to 40 minute long releases that are it's called I Am the Moon, and it's really good stuff. Like take a journey with Tedeschi Trucks Band sometime. And if you just want like a little taste, check out their tiny desk concert. But there's a song called Soul Sweet Song, and it's about Kofi Burbridge, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was their keyboard player, and he was O'Teal Burbridge from Dead and Company, the bass player from Dead and Company's brother. And he died, and they wrote this song for him. And it's one of those songs where if you've lost anybody, it's a really good kind of cathartic song. Shows you how they've been able to, just smile because they can still feel him here. That's how I feel with my mom a lot of the times. I really do feel her presence a lot when I'm not even expecting it and stuff. And it's weird shit, man. Death is a weird thing, and they don't really prepare you for it when you're a kid. Little Billy, just letting you know, every single person that you know, if you live to be 100, every single person that you know will probably die in that time. You will watch everybody around you die. Your grandparents are going to die. Your parents are going to die. Your siblings are going to die. Your best friends are going to die. Everybody's going to die, dude. And, that's morbid shit, man. But, it fucking sucks. And I think that they need to kind of explain that shit a little bit more when you're younger. Somebody does. I don't know. Fuck. So speaking of morbid shit, I was really into Halloween this year. Not in the ways of the holiday itself, but the feeling around October and just the darkness and the metal music, and the scary movies and the blood and the people hanging things from trees and shit like that. And it's just the whole mythos, but also / gothic feel of it all. I was really into it. And I just told my wife this today. I was like, dude, next Halloween, I want to do something that cool. I don't know what, but I want to do something cool. And, I think it'd be I really wish that I had money, because I wouldn't just be a lazy prick. I would create some really cool shit if I had a lot of money. And one thing that I would love to do, especially in a town this small, I mean, it's not small, and it's got traffic coming through and everything like that, but 40,000 people, that's still not a lot, but on the outskirts of town, open up a Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Mayhem, or whatever it was and stuff like that. You couldn't call it Captain Spaulding's, but have this really cool roadside attraction. We don't have enough of that shit, and it still doubles as an actual legitimate business, because you have gas and you can have food because he sells chicken, and you can even have a bar off to the side of it or something like that. It'd be a fucking cool little spot. Just put it a couple miles out of town, and travelers of all will come and check it out and everything. Bring the kiddies. I would fucking love to do that, man. And I actually came up with a cool name for it too, because, okay, so the Firefly family. Okay, so if you don't know what Captain Spaulding's is, it's a fictional gas station roadside attraction, Monsters and Mayhem, and it's It's in Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. And it's fucking sweet. Like, it looks really cool, like in the movie, but I think it's a really cool idea in general. And yeah, man, it'd be fucking sweet, dude. Like, I just think it'd be really, really fun. But then that idea generated a different idea for me, because I was like, you'd have to have something cool that's, like something that people want to see, like an attraction that people want to see and everything. And so I was thinking, like, 50 yards behind the building, because this is the, Museum of Monsters and Mayhem and stuff like that. Or Murderers and Mayhem. I think it's Murderers and Mayhem. But you see, you think about all the different, like, historical murders and murders that have taken place and crazy shit that's happened and everything. And you get one of those companies to come in and drop a fucking boulder, like 100 yards, 50 yards behind the place. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I'll go back to that. I wanted to name it Dr. Hugo's. Dr. Hugo's, Museum of blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't want to, like, completely rip off Rob Zombie and have copyright infringement and stuff like that. But it'd be a similar place, similar kind of place that you could go and see, because it's a fictional thing. It's from a fucking movie. But anyways, because Dr. Hugo is a character from a Marx Brothers thing that was never used in any of the Rob Zombie stuff, because the Firefly family were all named after Groucho Marx characters and stuff like that. So Dr. Hugo, fuck, man, it's a weird ass name. Oh, it's like deliciously weird. Hold on. Groucho. Come on, give me Groucho. There you are. Okay. Dr. Hugo Z. Hackenbush. Dr. Hugo Z. Hackenbush. And I just thought that was a really cool name, and kind of go off the whole Rob Zombie lifting from a Marx Brothers thing. I could just call it Dr. Hugo's instead of Captain Spaulding's, and it'd be really fucking cool, man. I think it'd be really cool. I'd love for Rob Zombie to come and see it, like, that'd be fucking sweet. And just be like, this is kind of an homage to your stuff, But yeah, dude, have a company come in and drop a fucking boulder, like 50 to 100 yards in the back. And you could put, a little landscaping around it, like not with flowers or anything. I don't know. You could, maybe it'd be weirder, but you could call it the Murder Rock. And you could tell this twisted story about how we brought this rock in from the mountains of the Appalachia, where this family was homesteaded, and I started constructing the story around this rock. This group of people were ambushed as they were trying to cross a smaller terrain of the mountains and stuff. These people were ambushed by murderers and thieves and stuff like that. And there was 200 fucking people in this party. So there was at least 150 fucking murderers and thieves and stuff. And they all took turns raping and killing the women on this one boulder, this one rock, this one murder rock. And we brought it. And it's out back, and that'll be $5, something like that. And then if it's nighttime and shit, it could be pitch black back there. We're out in the middle of nowhere, mind you, a couple miles out of town. It'd be pitch black back there and shit like that. You go back there and you're like, where's this fucking rock at? You just keep on going straight. Where's this fucking rock at? And then all of a sudden, there's motion lights, and it just fucking flashes, and it's right in front of them, and there's the murder rock. This is the rock that fucking 175 women were raped and murdered on and shit. People are morbid, man. They'd fucking do it. They would fucking come for that. I'd fucking go see that. I'd be like, let's go check out the murder rock, dude. So then I was thinking about how like that'd be a cool story in like, you know, in a Tales from the Crypty kind of way. And so I started developing a couple more stories and they're fucking weird, man. And like I was thinking about maybe doing something like that for Halloween, like releasing like a little, you know, my own kind of Tales from the Crypt kind of a thing where I just tell these weird dark ass fucking stories and shit, dude. And with the murder rock, it can be like, some say that, you can still find the murder rock, you know. And you could even say that, oh, it was hauled around as a sideshow attraction for, for years and stuff, and then it ended up. Some people say that it ended up outside of this little town in South Dakota, or some shit like that. It's fucking crazy shit, dude. Yeah, man. Like I want to do something cool. Like I'm really kind of into this whole I don't know, just let's get spooky with it, I kind of like spooky shit and I wish that I had a job where it was just kind of like I could feel like that all year, like a tattoo parlor. Like tattoo parlors, you know, they always have like metal music playing and shit, like all the ones that I've ever been to. They always have like metal music playing and everybody just looks all spooky and just like, yeah, it looks like fun. I love shit like that, dude. Fucking like the Crow kind of shit. Like, I just love that dark gothic feel, especially if you ever catch it in real life. Some of those chicks in high school that were goth, man, they were some weird ass fucking chicks, dude. And some of my buddies that were goth, I was never goth. I was just a metalhead. I wasn't goth though. But I hung out with some goths, and those motherfuckers, man, they were an eclectic bunch. They really were. Some of the poetry that I read coming out of some of those people and shit like that was some crazy shit, dude. And it was good, and it was published and shit, man. Like there's a lot of really cool aspects to that culture, and I really, you know, I dig it. I'm not like into like, I want to sacrifice things, and I don't know what any of them, they're fucking weird, man. Some of them are fucking weird. So, and some of the ones that I met are fucking weird, but not like, doing anything illegal that I know of. This was back in high school, mind you. But there was some people that I met coming from like St. Louis and shit like that were hanging out with some of the people that I used to hang out with and shit. And because we were in fucking Columbia and shit, Columbia, Missouri and stuff. And yeah, dude, that was some fucking crazy ass shit, man. Some of those people were weird. But I dig it, man. I dig it. It's awesome. Fucking A, it was awesome. So yeah, man. I have like I have a spark of creativity. I just don't know how to do anything with it, man. There's a couple different things that I would love to fucking do. I just need to put the fucking time and the effort into doing them. And it's just, you put your time and effort into stuff, especially artistic stuff, for so long, and it doesn't really catch hold with anybody. And nobody ever really fucking acknowledges it as like in the ways of just, I don't know. Nothing ever catches on. Nobody's ever that interested, and you know, it, that fucking dude in Seven, John Doe in Seven, actually said it very, very, very weirdly, but he said it, and it makes sense. These days you can't just tap somebody on the shoulder. Uh, and some people have to fucking be you have to like really hit them with something. And my wife and I have talked about the fact that, there's all these people, like, let's say John Mayer. John Mayer came out with pop album. It was a pop album, and then the next album was a pop album with some guitar in it, like some really, another one with some, like, the guitar playing got better in it and stuff. The guitar playing got better in it and stuff. And then all of a sudden it was just like, he did his thing to get his ass where it was. And then he was able to just be free. And I love seeing that, man. I love seeing, fuck, man. You gotta, you do what you do to get noticed, and then you can do whatever. But you have to bring the people what they like and what they want. And some people are geniuses at that. I just don't think I have the money to promote things and to shoot them properly. That's why I haven't done a lot of the things that I've wanted to do, because I don't have the cameras to do it, and I don't have the money to rent cameras to do it. And I know I should just be going guerrilla style, and I can do that for like one or two of them, but my Back to the Future 4, man, I need to make sure that looks good, and I want a camera that will make it look fucking good. And I want to be able to get an editing program that I can make it look fucking good, man. So, yeah, I just feel like I need to wait, I just feel like I need to wait. And hopefully this dude sticks around a little bit, or I'm able to buy one of my own. Because there's a dude in town that has a DeLorean, and he told me I could use it. I'm not going to drive it. I can't fit in that motherfucker. I'm too big for that shit. We went and looked at it for Father's Day a couple of years ago. It was really nice of them because it was like deep COVID and shit. But we went and looked at it for Father's Day, and yeah, the kids got to sit in a real DeLorean and shit. It was pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, I want to do Back to the Future 4 so bad, dude. But I need to make sure that it's right. So I do need to focus myself more on the guerrilla fucking, aspect of making films when you don't have money, because it can be done, and I can fucking do it. I just need to put my mind to it and shit. So it's just been hard fucking having to, go to 2 different jobs and shit like that. And I might have a third one on the line. I'm not sure, so yeah, but yeah, man. Whoa. Come back. But no, I like the aspect of like writing spooky shit. And I got some really weird shit that I have written down, and I want to write it out, and I want to, do something with it, man, because I already made one little movie, and then I remade it. And I think I want to remake it again, at least one little fucking part. But anyways, I have brought one thing to life, one of my ideas to life, and I took it to a film festival. And all these people won all these awards and everything like that. And it was a 24-hour film festival. And you had to incorporate 3 different things, and it had to be, excuse me, I think it was 7 minutes. Yeah, I think it was 7 minutes long. And my category was superhero. And I always had this little treatment written up about this. It's in a hotel room, and it's a woman sitting there watching TV, and she's watching the news, and it's about, a little kid that's been found, and he was murdered and all that shit and everything, and she's crying, and then all of a sudden she stands up and she goes over and she grabs a bunch of shit, and like, you know, grabs a couple guns and shit like that, puts a fucking coat on, and fucking all of a sudden she just activates something that fucking is a big flash of light. She walks into it and she's gone, and the TV's still on, and all of a sudden the TV kind of fuzzes out and the news story changes just a little bit, and it changes to, oh, we found this. They actually, you know, instead of that, there's a different news story going on saying that they found this kid alive, and the fucking the kid tells a story about how somebody came in and rescued him from this fucking rapist murderer and shit like that, and then all of a sudden she appears. She's covered in fucking blood and goes and looks in the mirror and just fucking screams. And like that was it. That was like the whole thing. And I thought it was like a really cool like time travel kind of an idea. And so I did it. It wasn't exactly what I wanted it, you know, how I wanted it to come out, but I had 24 hours to put it together, you know, like I didn't even know what the fuck was going to happen. All of a sudden somebody's like, you should just show up and you should just do it. You know, you're good at stuff like that. And I was like, I've never done anything like that, but okay. And so I showed up, and, you know, all these people knew each other. Like everybody was like all happy and friendly and stuff like that. And that was nice, but I just always feel like the odd man out. And so I just fucking, I don't know, man. I was very uncomfortable that night, but I drew a superhero, and I was like, you know, I could make that chick into a superhero, you know? And so I did it. It was very low budget, and it was done in my basement and shit. And I did the voice of the radio, but I did it, and I took it there and I saw it on the big screen. I saw my work on the big screen at the film festival, and people enjoyed it, but there was all these awards that went around and everything like that, and nobody got it. Nobody like took the time to appreciate it because everything was campy. Every single other movie that was in that 24-hour film festival was campy and fun, and you know, and then here comes mine, boom, chick covered in blood, you know, and there was a couple people that were like, that was really fucking cool, man. But then a lot of people were like, I didn't get it. Or a lot of people were like, was that a trailer? And I was just like, it's just cerebral, man. It's fucking weird. It's for you to think about, you know? And I hope somebody in that theater saw that and was like, it stuck with them, and like the whole idea, the concept of it. And they're just like, I saw this one thing one time, and it was really, I've always fucking kind of went back to it and was like, that's fucking weird, man. Like, that's weird and that's cool, because I just thought it was weird and cool. And when I think something like, you know, I like movies and stuff like that. I would watch that and be like, that's fucking sweet. That's awesome. I love time travel shit. Even something as simplistic as that. So yeah, that was the one that I brought, that I actually like, you know, put out there and did something with, because I did it in a pinch. But there's another one that I want to do. It's right now, it's just entitled Sailboats, and it's about, there's a painting of a sailboat, and I think there's a painting of a sailboat or multiple sailboats or something like that. But that's that painting is kind of like a little character in this little thing about people that are able to like switch bodies with other people, like switch consciousness with other people, and it's fucking nuts. And like I've written like 3 or 4 different kinds of treatments for it, around it, kind of tweaking it and stuff like that. And I still don't feel like I'm even anywhere near done, like trying to put it together for a filming opportunity, you know. But who knows, you know? Who knows? It's kind of one of those things that's really there, though, that if somebody pushed me to do it, I would do it. So maybe I just need to do it. But yeah. Hey, so that's the AlbaSnatch, and it's beautiful. It's a great buzz. And if you ever see AlbaSnatch out there, I highly recommend it. because it's amazeballs. But yeah, so that's, yeah, weird stories and shit like that. That's something I've always had a passion for, and I think I have, you know, and if I can get them to a point where I can just like put them in a, on a story form, and really put the detail into the story and everything, because I have the idea, and I have shots. Like I think of things in the ways of a movie, and how it would look, how I would film it, and like, what the angles would be and stuff like that, of, his footsteps walking this way, and like where I would want, like where my eyes and my visual perception sees those, how it's seeing those feet walking. That's, I have such a more of a mind than like transcribing an entire story with all the detail and everything like that. I'm not good at that, but giving it a shot, So yeah, man, it's been like 46 minutes or something like that, so I should probably get trucking. But thank you all. It's been nice. I mean, and I want to thank, if the lady that put on that stand-up show the other night listens to this by chance, I want her to know that it was such a fun little jaunt up there. And then, she was a joy and a bliss, and the bartender was really fucking cool. And, I had a good time in that aspect. And, I'm happy that some people were able to enjoy the show enough to laugh. It's just one of those ones that, hey man, I had to work against a crowd, and I'm not the first and I'm not the last that's going to have to do that. And this isn't the first and the last time that I will have to do that. So, yeah, but, good paying gig. Got out of town for a little bit. So, yeah, it was cool. Well, you guys keep it real. And yeah, man, just do something with your artistry. Do something with it. Do something cool with it. Take the jump. Try to do it, because I need to do that. So, you guys have a great day. It's Tony Tone, and this is Snerbidge the PoTcast. And thanks to Sheldon Starr for your lovely artwork, and Young Stone for continuing to allow me to use this amazing track. I Be Smokin'.
Nah, I been smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. I be smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. You be smoking, she be smoking, he be smoking all day. Blowing kush, it ain't face from overseas to the USA. I got that blueberry, raspberry, and we keep that juicy fruit.